I'm feeling rather tense now, rather nervous, a little bit because I need some reassurance that I'm going to survive the next 18 minutes. And also because I'm highly influenced right now by a memory. And memories from 1 week ago, almost exactly, when we had a meeting with the presenters, we had a meeting with the organizers of this TEDx event. And the idea of the meeting was for us speakers to kind of present what we would like to speak about and to get some feedback from the organizers. I came full of self-confidence with my 25 years of dealing with groups in pocket. I was sure I would be delivering an awesome presentation. I was sure that everybody would be crying and that it would all end in a standing ovation. Now it ended in me being the only person who felt like crying. And the reason was because after 2 or 3 minutes into that presentation of mine, I suddenly felt completely lost and confused. My mind was empty, my thoughts were scattered all over the place. I was feeling lost and confused and helpless. And then shame kicked in. I was standing in front of all these highly intelligent, capable, competent young people. And I was feeling like crap. And I was blushing so much that I was afraid that my face would actually explode. So it was quite a blow for my ego. And I ended with the thought that I'm really a loser and they know it. So here I am, feeling a little bit post-traumatic or post-apocalyptic, with these silly cards in my hands, because now I'm fully aware that I can get completely confused any moment. So this is for the safety. And the reason why did I get so confused and what happened to me? Because of course I did not want to be confused. I wanted to be really sharp, really intelligent, really focused and really inspiring and funny. But something else happened. And I've been spending most of my adult life in exploring the dark inner world of my little self. And also being a psychologist and psychotherapist, I kind of understand what happens not only to me but to many of us in moments like this. In my understanding, what happens is that it starts actually with our birth. We come to this life and we spend the first 5, 6, 7 years as little children who are primarily emotional beings. Because our cognitive, logical system is not fully formed yet. So we don't think all that clearly. However, we feel really strongly. And we are there, all little and small, with really intense feelings. And with this longing in us for some certain qualities in our existence, like for love, for acceptance, for acknowledgement, for joy and connection and so forth. And when these needs of ours are fulfilled, then we experience pleasant feelings of joy and happiness and being relaxed and at ease, and we are full of life and we are in the flow. And on a daily basis, no matter how perfect parents or teachers we might have, we do experience that our needs for love, for acceptance are not met or fulfilled. And then we experience painful, unpleasant feelings of loneliness, abandonment, and sadness and helplessness. And that's really painful. So very soon, as little children, we start to realize that there is something that will fill us with joy and there is something else that will fill us with pain and sadness. And we try finding strategies and ways how to make sure that I will get as much joy as I can and I will not be exposed to pain. And then we start becoming something else. We start becoming nice, obedient, good, clean, smart, funny, cute, so that everybody kind of likes us and we are fine. We get all this love and acceptance. Then we become teenagers and our need for autonomy and free choice is so a life that we want to fight for it, and also we notice that by being rebellious, we also get some more recognition from our peers. But anyway, these strategies become more and more complex, and they become a system that kind of slowly sinks into our subconscious mind and becomes a decision-making subconscious machine who keeps choosing instead of us, in moments like I experienced a week ago. And then we decide we want to do something, we want to work on ourselves. And then we embark on the journey of personal growth. And we use the same methods as we used before. We try to make ourselves better with thoughts like, I should be different, I should be good, I must be handsome, I should be slim, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. I must be selfish. I must have my heart full of peace and joy and love and inner centeredness. And I'm not experiencing that, so that must mean that I'm not good enough, I'm a loser. And then slowly life becomes a little bit of a nightmare. Now, looking back 1 week, the situation, this nightmarish experience I had with this great, loving organizers of this TEDx event that were really compassionately holding me as I was cracking up in front of them. Looking back for 1 week, it actually seems quite funny to me, because my main message in my original talk was that it was about saving the world, of course. And my main message was that the world can only be saved if we dare to strip naked and learn to interact with each other from the place of vulnerability. And the funny thing is that while I was trying to deliver this message, I did not strip naked. I was not vulnerable. I was trying to hide behind this shiny mask and armor of a great presenter, of a really smart guy. I was trying to hide myself in order to prevent myself from experiencing pain. And when I look back, I'm quite clear that this is not what I want in life. I don't want to waste my life in trying to hide in a hole and to feel safe. I'm not sure I want to waste my life on trying to feel safe. Actually, I think I want to engage. I want to stand in fire of life and fully, directly experience it. In my work, I work as a mediator and facilitator of group processes. And the main model I use is nonviolent communication, as it was presented by Marshall Rosenberg and is cared for and shared around the world through Center for Nonviolent Communication. And as much as I'm passionate about this concept, I'm also a bit frustrated by its name, because it seems to be hinting that nonviolent communication is primarily about communication between people. And it is to a certain degree. Yes, it is about me learning how can I express myself fully and honestly in a way that is going to make it possible for you to hear me. And how can I hear you even though maybe at a certain moment you don't have the capacity or awareness to express yourself in the most connecting and non-violent way. So it is about connecting and communicating between people. And for me, way more important part is that actually nonviolent communication is about establishing a connection with myself. Establishing a life-serving connection with myself, with what's going on inside of me. So actually, nonviolent communication for me, it's about a profound, intimate journey, or what we could say, personal growth or spiritual growth. And as during the announcement it was mentioned, personal growth is a huge passion of mine. And there are 3 aspects that I'd really like to share with you that are really precious and important to me, aspects of personal growth. The first one is that, as I understand personal growth, it is not about finding an authority out there, be it a book or a person, and then blindly following this authority. It is, as I understand, not about that. Our humanity went through many phases in ways of perceiving the spirituality. Tens of thousands of years ago, when humans were living in small tribes, small communities, and they were very much directly connected to the mother nature and in very direct interaction with nature. Spirituality was experienced and seen everywhere, in every tree, in every plant, in every animal, in the wind, in sun, in moon. And there was this direct interaction happening between humans and this integrated aspect of spirituality. Then agriculture kicked in, the communities became bigger, the societies became more complex, cities emerged, and social stratification happened. And suddenly the perception of spirituality started to follow this. Suddenly it was not about the spirituality being everywhere, but it was projected up there, far away. There were some gods fighting each other, arguing, having intrigues, just like humans down here. And then a couple of thousand years ago, this stratification became even more vertical. And then monotheisms were born. And the idea of connecting to spirituality became kind of a blurred. So the spirit was so far, and it was only accessible through very complex religious hierarchies. And I believe, that's my personal opinion and experience, that it's time for us, humans, to make another step in our evolution and start connecting with the spirit in ourselves, rather than looking for it out there. The second aspect of personal growth that I'd like to share with you is that personal growth has a lot to do with healing. Healing all the old wounds and scars we have acquired through our painful experiences in our past. And healing, in my understanding, starts with self-empathy. So it is actually about stopping the inner war between the good me and the bad me, between how I think I should be and between how I actually am and I don't like that and I shouldn't be like that. Basically stopping this war and start embracing all the parts, all parts of myself. Also the scared Robert, who would really like to have some reassurance and some acceptance and recognition and love and so forth. And also maybe the Robert who is so tender and so scared to experience pain again that he keeps on walking around with a mask of being a macho and a cool guy and a wise man and so forth. Just embracing that, just embracing it all. And the third aspect of personal growth, as I understand it, is that personal growth is about integration. Integration for me is almost like in a growth of a plant. You know, a plant grows into a space where before there was no plant. So it integrates the space in its growth. And in my understanding, human personal evolution is also about growing beyond my boundaries. Growing beyond my boundaries into the space where before there was no me. And I integrate it. And I integrate it. And the crucial thing for integration is that I'm willing to be influenced. Because if I open up, I will be influenced. And then this influences, I will integrate and I will grow. So I don't want to waste my life in sitting in this little small hole thinking, I'm not changing, I'm not going to change. Nobody's making me change. But it's actually opening up and it's about willing to be influenced. One thing I'd like to remind you right now, and I'm often a bit tense of reminding people about that, but it's very important for me, is that we are all going to die. Like definitely. Each of us is going to die. I'm pretty sure nobody's going to miss that train. So I think about that very often. It's highly motivating for me. Because there is one thing I don't want to have in my mind when I will be lying on the deathbed, entering the tunnel. I don't want to have this regret and a thought that I am a loser. And for me, being a loser does not mean, or doesn't have anything to do with acquiring wealth and success and power in life. For me, I know that I might consider myself a loser on the deathbed if I will know that I wasted my life in holding myself back, that I was not showing my true self, that I was playing it safe, that I did not show my true self, I did not show my love, I did not open up, but I was just trying to be safe. And because of that, I created this little puppet that I called Robert, and then I remotely controlled it and to see what happens to this puppet. So for me, personal growth is really about being totally courageous in life. Totally courageous in the sense that I dare to strip naked, to be vulnerable, to be honest. Because in my understanding, this is the only way that I can really genuinely connect with you or with life. That's the only way. And that's the way I'd like to pursue. And this is my understanding of personal growth. So basically this was what I wanted to share with you. For me, this was not a TEDx talk. It was an opportunity for me to share something very precious with other human beings. And I'm grateful for you holding the space for me. Thank you.